Palus, basically.
Correct. But StanLoona is just playing Luma. Running through all the characters. We've seen the Bale, we've seen the Palu, and now we're seeing the Rosalina.
Yeah, and so yeah, we do know that StanLoona has a pretty decent Rosa, and that's this is kind of taking it back a little bit, but also this is a pretty practiced Rosa. This is a Rosa that we have seen them deploy against Lights as early as recently as yesterday. So yeah, it's warm up Wednesdays for a reason, and it was the Rosa that was being warmed up, perhaps for a situation very similar to this. We're in best of 5 territory, so StanLoona does have an opportunity to kind of back out and call it a wash if this does in fact go go bottom side up. But it's WebbJP that maybe is kind of hanging on the ropes right now after a very nice little opening gambit from StanLoona.
Yeah, and actually, now I think about it, like looking at the meta across not only character pick but playstyle wise, the Rosalina works good in the fact that not only do you force Webb onto ZSS throughout the whole thing, because you're not gonna go Lucas. You could, but it's not the biggest brain option to go Lucas against Rosalina. It's just a fact. So you force them onto the ZSS. You get to play that good defensive play style, and you also get to warm this up for the potential fight against Lights. So if you happen to get past Webb in the first place, you have this Rosalina, who's a very good defensive wall, gets to play and put up that pressure, and then maybe it could work against Lights in the future too. I like the idea behind StanLoona, and it's already showing throughout this first match that it's working extremely well.
All right, so again, keeping this on, and dash attack right in, and trying to nullify or trying to get WebbJP away from the habit of sort of plasma whipping to try to keep the distance. That seems to be the idea for WebbJP, is just trying to establish a little bit of a distance between themselves and StanLoona via that, or really just trying to nullify Luma, right?
Yeah.
But that's StanLoona is trying to do everything they can to get them out of that habit, because the last thing that they need is WebbJP standing on flat ground with a boatload of confidence behind them.
Exactly.
A boatload of confidence, by the way, that they were able to build throughout losers bracket up to this point.
Yeah, we also saw, WebbJP was able to deal with this type of playstyle before in Zane. Obviously, Zane a little bit more mid-range with the traps, but with the way StanLoona's playing, you have the Luma, and StanLoona's literally just consistently looking for putting out a preemptive aerial to stop Webb from moving, and capitalizing on grabs and such. Because you're almost always, other than that situation right there, you're going to punish those whiff grabs with the distance coverage from Luma's extended hitboxes that you're going to get. So it's angering to fight something like this. But Webb has started to find the windows. It's like, okay, if I can trade here, here, and here, this will work. But good job from StanLoona not biting the bullet, not moving too quick. They're just waiting for the B reverse or some kind of option and going for the up smash.
Gets tagged as StanLoona tries to jump up, and yeah, you are not getting back onto the stage except via Angel platform. WebbJP making sure that, as exacting with their edge guarding as they have always been, their advantage state is something to be marveled at, and certainly their punish game is going to be on display here as StanLoona perhaps rolling away just a little bit too much. WebbJP has the means to chase them down, and that grab is going to be punished. StanLoona perhaps finding their key to victory in that as well.
Yeah, just consistently punishing that whiff grab is so important, because you don't get too many opportunities to punish ZSS in general, but just having those big hitboxes in the way is working. But it seems like Webb is mostly starting to catch the damage when there's a whiffed air-to-air. Anytime that, we see this all the time. StanLoona runs in, throws out that short hop in air, force Webb to stay grounded, and now that you've gotten a few defensive options blown, you get to put that pressure on like so. I hate that hitbox a lot, by the way. It's such a stupid hitbox from Luma, but you know what? You got to take advantage of that. Luckily for Webb, not going to die to it just yet.
Yeah, I mean, tell us how you really feel, buddy. This is, I guess this is the ground where you're allowed to air out your feelings. No one's going to blame you too much for that. Back throw is going to put StanLoona into an advantageous position, but WebbJP yeah, you can't really underestimate or say enough really about the movement options of ZSS in advantage or disadvantage. And the plasma weapon is going to be deployed. StanLoona now in a world of trouble. One more for good measure is going to put WebbJP up 1-0 in this best of 5. So again, opening blood being drawn by one of the best Wi-Fi players that Tri-State has to offer. StanLoona, certainly no slouch themselves, but they might be facing a whole different kind of beast here in the ZSS of WebbJP, one that we have seen develop, by the way, before our very eyes on this very channel.
Yeah, and that was extremely close. Like, literally came down to 114 apiece at the last stock right there. StanLoona, like, honestly, I don't really see a lot of changes that I want to see out of StanLoona from that match. The playstyle was good. The defensive gameplay was there. Hopefully you get lucky, you get maybe Town and City because you want that flat zone because you're never gonna get FD. Actually, no, it's Webb. You might get FD, but you always want to try and keep that pressure up from that distance. Webb just found a lot of opportunities in those traits. That's just good on Webb finding that. So. Getting that closeout at the end, I don't think that's something they should be too mad about. That was hard-fought victory on both players, Webb getting that first W. But I definitely like the way StanLoona was playing, and I think we're going to see another close game in here in Game 2.
And certainly another game, Ajax, that's going to be decided on the incredibly spacious flat ground that Pokemon Stadium 2 provides.
Yep. Yeah, nice wide stage, nice room to work with. You have platforms coverage, but really a big thing, I mean, this is pretty normal for any matchup, is that Webb has been winning every time, or at least the majority of the times, that StanLoona has been near these platforms. A lot of catches, a lot of short hop jump reads, and able to put the pressure like there. It's kind of hard to get down from there in that spot. You want to stay grounded and force that pressure. So it's good for Webb. Continues to find that like so, but it's when you get these nice long-range portions like StanLoona has right now that have been working so well.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Might as well continue with what has brought you so much success up to this point. And this jab, again, WebbJP, having a bit of a tough time with the Rosa. Nothing that they aren't able to negotiate, obviously, is that first game indicated, and certainly the scoreboard is proof of this. But again, this is life is not exactly easy for WebbJP right about now.
Yeah, keeping that pressure on. I like that StanLoona decided to go off stage before, and the nice saw hit that down there, whether it be the hard spike or not, get that jump, and that's gonna close out that stock. Good job from StanLoona, not only keeping pressure up on the high side, but also willing to go low and get that stock.
And that is how you kill ZSS early on, isn't it? You have to get rid of the jump by any means necessary. That is the only way that you are going to be able to get early stocks off of this character. WebbJP perhaps opening themselves up just a little bit too much, but the neutral get up right on ledge. I mean, how many times have we seen people do this against CSS thinking that they can get away with it? With StanLoona learning that lesson yet again. However, taking the stock right back and going up 2-1. This is a full stock lead for StanLoona.
Optimal punish right there. You wait for that window after they go for the flip kick. It bounces them off perfectly to punish and getting the air dodge read as well. Rosalina obviously universally known for being one of those more. Oh my God! One of those more defensive characters. But not only did you go for the air dodge read prior, but you look for an aggressive option right there because you assume either flip kick's coming or they're gonna put a fair out in that position because they're getting boxed with because they just got caught on air dodge reads twice, and then you just capitalize a third time with that forward smash. StanLoona really just had it all figured out on that last stock. I like the way that pressure was going there at the very end. There's that fair read with the clank. Luma's winning that every time.
Yeah, no, there's not a whole lot that you can do about that. You just kind of have to catch that hand and hold the L. But what else can you say? StanLoona, so good at adjusting, and you could see that you're being forced to adapt against the ZSS of Lights in Winners Final, and to their credit, not doing such a poor job in that endeavor with the Bayo. But now you're going right back. This is what, the third character that we've seen StanLoona play? Fourth, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, Zelda, you've seen Bayo, we've seen Rosa, and Ellie. Right. Yeah. So this is a wide variety. Like, this is StanLoona running the gamut of play styles, of potential stratagems that they are meant to employ here. But yeah, this Rosa proving as it has before that they can hang with the best the Tri-State has to offer.
Yeah, true femme fatale, standing all the queens, like just coming in here, taking every single one of those strong characters, the Palu, the Bayo, the Zelda, and the Rosa, and making them all work. Not only from a defensive standpoint, but taking defensive-based characters like the Rosalina, like the Zelda, and a bit more of the Bayo in this game by comparison to the way that you normally would expect to see, but able to turn it up with these characters in those situations too. So I'm really liking the playstyle that we're seeing here, you know, the way that they've been playing, but honestly, it's just been so good just to see the way that the playstyle has been going. And Webb, you know, obviously we can't count out Webb any point just yet. Webb getting a smaller stage now to work with, and getting that center stage platform, like we said before, was winning a majority of times with the platforms on PS2.
Been doing a pretty decent job thus far of establishing themselves, especially on stages such as this. But again, as you're headed into the Octagon with this ZSS, and again, intent on sticking with ZSS, it's not necessarily outside of the, not beyond the pale for not for ZSS, for WebbJP. We've kind of expected this from them, but do you think perhaps Lucas might stand a bit of a better chance here? Because at some point, maybe you have to swallow your pride and say, okay, maybe advancement is the important thing here.
Oh my goodness! Once again, catching that up smash, just being able to beat out an aggressive character in the likes of ZSS with Rosa, the way that StanLoona has been so good. But I think, you know, I agree. What's the adjustments that get made? What do you do to change things up now, especially in the hands of Webb? Obviously, it's, you know, it's 94%. It's not like it's that bad of a spot. But the way that StanLoona's been playing, I don't think that you can comfortably let a lead get away. Obviously, that's pretty easy just to say in a nutshell, but really just the capitalization that's so good. And then you get stuff like that that just shuts down your kill options as well, because Luma's always there to protect his queen.
Oh. The neutral get up right into the plasma whip, and yeah, we have seen the adaptation and the reserved nature of this Rosalina come fully into practice. But again, the neutral get up from a distance, you think it's safe, and then the ZSS breaks out the plasma whip. WebbJP sitting at 80%, so this is they are not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination, especially when you've got someone the likes of Luma right by your side trying to get that jab in. WebbJP perhaps looking for a flip kick and decides that discretion is the better part of valor in that particular instance. But again, you're just kind of getting popped up into prime position for a potential aerial should StanLoona decide to go for it and go for some of these head-ass options that we've seen them go for with Bayo in the past. That seems like you could translate it over to Rosa relatively ezy at the very least.
Yeah, and I'm definitely I'm liking the changes that we're seeing out of Webb. Like, Webb's not oh, never mind. that was just good, good landing aerial option. That was unfortunate positioning for Webb. But Webb has been kind of delaying a lot of the hits, a lot of the options, because StanLoona has been very passive-aggressive in the way that they've been putting out their hits, just kind of preemptively putting it like, I know this is where you're going to be, therefore I'm going to option coverage just as much as possible. Like that, just putting out those nairs. It covers flip kick, it covers the jump in. But can we get the up B? We cannot. Boost kick is going to miss once again. Can Webb get another stock some point soon? This is a bad position. I like the retreat of that. Try and make it look like you're going to go for rapid jab off stage, but instead go for... Okay.
Oh my god.
That is always a scary situation. Also, that's the jump, by the way. Goodbye. Oh, it missed! Yeah. It missed, but it doesn't... Okay, never mind. The jump is gone. So good job from StanLoona recognizing the jump was gone. You get down there and cover that as quickly as possible, just the same way we saw that down there in the last game. You know, this Rosa has been patient enough, but really, really strong punish game. And I think that's really what's shutting down a lot of what Webb is trying to do right now.
And that's a tough position to be in, especially considering what we have seen from them in the past. Webb, who has done so well in these tournaments, and really some of the biggest tournaments that that Wi-Fi has to offer, they are showing out to them. Especially, I mean, just this past week, Mega Smash Mondays, where they make a crazy run through winner's side. Out of 579 people, finishes third, only losing to Headshot, the Dark Samus from Puerto Rico, in losers
so
final, and in fact wound up taking their winners semifinals against them 3-0. So no definitive clear better player there, just kind of who won when it counted. And now they have to perform when it counts against this Rosa and StanLoona if they want a chance at Lights.
You just reminded me how much money I lost to Headshots in money matches in the past. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it.
Anytime, buddy.
But you know what? Like you said, just like Webb, through and through competitor, always strong in this environment, understands the competitive drive and how to get back. You still have 2 potential games to play. You lost the last ones. It's frustrating, but you can make a comeback. And that's the key factor here is that Webb, if they could keep their head in the game, keep it collected, and find a way to shut down these short hop nairs in particular, and all of these aerials that StanLoona has just been able to put out to stop the approach from ZSS, then the game could be in Webb's favor. But right now, the way that StanLoona's been playing, it's just been so top-notch. It's hard to stop that type of preemptive playstyle when you understand what somebody's going to do before they do it.
Throwing it out, and yeah, you have options, you have opinions, certainly, on that Luma hitbox, and I think WebbJP might be saying a few choice words at their screen right about now as well.
It's okay, you know what? Because soon enough, I'll be able to hit that hitbox from half screen with somebody who has a full sword the size of the screen and 1 winged angel in 1 wing. But so soon enough, that won't matter to me no more. But anyways, I'm really liking the way that StanLoona understands that positioning. When you play a Puppet Master style character, it's hard to to capitalize on pressure with one floaty character to begin with, but then you got another one you got to position everywhere. And one of the best zone-breaking, combo-based characters, pressure-based characters in the game, more so than combo-based. And you're just shutting it down completely.
Now, continuing on, as they seem to have started out, WebbJP able to even things up at 2 stocks apiece, but again, if you're just sitting in disadvantage, StanLoona is more than willing to just eat that stock right back up. And now all of a sudden, tournament stock. StanLoona looking for a shot at revenge on Lights. So sitting in grands. That ZSS was broken out, and now trying to send a message. If you bring anything less than your best as ZSS, I can eat you up, and I might just have the weapon with which to do it. This Rosa that you have seen before, Lights, it's now coming at the very best character that you have to offer. Back throw by StanLoona is going to put WebbJP onto the ledge and trying to establish stage control. And yeah, this is StanLoona just kind of moving around, showing a lot of patience, a lot of maturity, Ajax.
All right, but now it is bingo time. It is time for Ajax to point out to everybody once again that we are at a situation where you can never count out ZSS, because ZSS cheats, and you always need to worry about that. So, I know I bring it up all the time, but really it is the truth. You have to make sure that if you're StanLoona, even with the stock up, if you lose the stock here, it is still a viable game for Webb. So you want to make sure you play as smart as possible. You don't want to overcommit. That's a problem that people will do a lot, even with the stock up. Because right here, you're going to get that boost kick. There's no Luma to close out that stock. Now, you have to make sure you do not overdo it, because all that's going to happen is Webb is going to sneak out an early nair to flip kick or something along the lines of that, and then we're going to game 5.
Yeah, and that's the big danger, isn't it? We have seen WebbJP do that exact same thing before, but the momentum that they have built up through Lucian's bracket has been stifled entirely. This is WebbJP now having to build it up all over again just for the right to live on in this bracket. And as practice as ZSS as they are, Luma coming right back out to Scorpion into that down air. You called it right on cue, as if it were in the script. And now StanLoona has their shot at revenge on one of the best players online.
You saw how close that game got? I say these things for a reason, but here it is. The best way to deal with ZSS is if you force them to have to use flip kick or some sort of recovery by removing that second jump. Catching that landing with that back air sealed the game, because if you don't, Then Webb has that second jump, could delay, go for Zair, go for flip kick. You have to guess. Doesn't need to do that at that point anymore. You got the star bits that baited out, that punished the air dodge. Good non-committal option. Held stage control. Don't go off stage if you don't need to. Once that was committed, that air dodge happened. That's when you're guaranteed that down air and you get that KO. Great job from StanLoona, holding stage positioning, punish game, capitalization of, you know, pretty much just like the whole short hop aerial distance. Because that range of that short hop 45 degrees that ZSS can approach, if you can stop that, if you can stop the Zairs and you can stop the short hop jumps, you are in a position, you are in such a good position against ZSS, which most people can't say. So great job from StanLoona, great job once again from Webb making the run. But that's a frustrating style to have to try and deal with, and you can't even go Lucas because it's Rosalina.
And yeah, it's a rough way to go out for Webb. Congratulations on third place on the third place finish. But yeah, StanLoona earning yet another spot in grand finals of DNA.EXE. Now, folks, before we get to